Console quality graphics used to be a dream on mobile. Not anymore. Today I've rounded up 25 fresh releases that prove your phone can go toe-to-toe with any console. Before we jump in, hit like and subscribe so you never miss a list like this. Let's begin. Alright, let's kick off our list with game number 25, Boltgun Boom. I love how this brings that brutal Warhammer first-person shooter energy to mobile. The retro-inspired combat is fast, violent, and packed with iconic weapons and enemies. It feels like a classic shooter with a modern mobile touch, and honestly, that combination worked. Up next, number 24, EA College Football Mobile 27. If you're into American football, this one has a lot going for it. I like the idea of building your own program, recruiting players, managing your roster, and chasing championships. The stadium presentation also looks impressive, although the progression systems will probably be the real test. Game number 23 is Frontline 2042. This one goes straight for that modern military first-person shooter feeling. You've got team battles, modern weapons, tactical resources, upgrades, and online PvP. What I like most is the emphasis on positioning and teamwork, because a shooter becomes much more exciting when every decision can actually change the fight. Moving on to number 22, The Long Way. This is one of those games where the journey itself is the experience. You're driving across a huge desert, searching abandoned locations, collecting resources, repairing your vehicle, and fighting to survive. I really like that your car isn't just transportation here, it's basically your lifeline. At number 21, we have Pigeon. Man, this is easily one of the weirdest ideas on the list, and that's exactly why I remember it. You fly through life-size versions of real cities searching for your pigeon soulmate, surrounded by huge numbers of autonomous birds. It's slow, strange, relaxing, and surprisingly charming. Next up is number 20, Laundry Simulator. This one takes a completely different direction, and honestly, I enjoy that. Instead of fighting monsters or racing cars, you're building a laundromat from scratch. Washing machines, employees, upgrades, decorations, and business management give it a cozy progression loop that feels surprisingly satisfying. Game number 19 is How Many Dudes? This is pure chaos in the best possible way. You recruit different dudes, combine their abilities, collect bizarre relics, and create ridiculous team synergies. With hundreds of thousands of possible combinations, every run can play out differently. I love games that reward experimentation, and this one definitely does. Coming in at number 18, Takato Drift Racing. If drifting is your thing, this one immediately caught my attention. You get legendary JDM-style cars, realistic drifting physics, tuning, upgrades, and neon-lit street races. I especially like the focus on actually mastering the slide instead of simply holding the accelerator and hoping the car does everything for you. Now we're at number 17, Los. This one grabbed me because the horror isn't just about cheap jump scares. You're investigating the mysterious White Estate while dealing with a disturbing time anomaly. I love that the mystery slowly becomes the scary part, making you question what's real and whether time itself has become your enemy. At number 16, Battle Chef Brigade. Okay, this is a seriously creative combination. You hunt monsters, collect ingredients, then turn them into dishes through puzzle-based cooking battles. The hand-drawn fantasy world gives it tons of personality, and I love how combat and cooking constantly push you into doing something different instead of repeating the same routine. Up next, number 15, Warfare 1942. This one delivers classic World War II multiplayer action with infantry combat, tanks, clans, and even loyal war dogs. I like having different ways to approach a battle, especially when you can jump into a tank or build your own soldier. It feels designed for players who enjoy long-term competitive progression. Game number 14 is Sky Oceans. If you miss classic JRPG adventures, this one feels right at home. You command a group of sky pirates, explore colorful regions, manage your airship, and fight strategic turn-based dogfights. The Ghibli-inspired visual direction is probably my favorite part. It gives the whole journey a warm, nostalgic personality. At number 13, we have Asdivine Saga. This is basically a love letter to classic 16-bit JRPGs, but with plenty of modern systems underneath. The tactical battles, elemental spirits, gear upgrades, relationship choices, and multiple endings give it real depth. And with offline play plus a huge level cap, there's a lot here for RPG fans. Moving into number 12, Modern Jet Fighter. This one is all about getting into the cockpit and mastering aerial combat. You've got fighter jets, dogfights, missions, online battles, offline play, and even an alien invasion mode. I like that it doesn't overcomplicate the idea. Pick your aircraft, learn the skies, and outmaneuver whoever gets in your way. Now for number 11, Autofire. This caught my eye because it approaches mobile first-person shooter controls differently. Instead of fighting complicated inputs, the smart Autofire system lets you focus more on movement, positioning, and tactical decisions. Add neon cyberpunk environments and 5 vs 5 PvP, and you've got a shooter that feels genuinely built around mobile play. Halfway through the list, we've got number 10, Blind Spot. This one turns darkness into the main mechanic. You're fighting waves of zombie-like creatures while carefully managing your limited light energy, and each stage ends with a dangerous boss. I really like that simple idea because your biggest advantage can also become your biggest weakness. At number 9, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you're a JoJo fan, the presentation here is hard to ignore. The 3D models, live 2D characters, iconic stands, and 360-degree camera make the battles feel much closer to the anime. But underneath all that style is real strategy, with team building, abilities, weather effects, bosses, and PvP. Coming in at number 8, Real Bus Simulator. I know a bus simulator might sound strange next to all these action games, but hear me out. This one goes surprisingly deep with realistic physics, traffic, fuel, damage, passengers, weather, and day-night cycles. Building a fleet of buses adds another layer, and I can definitely see simulation fans getting hooked here. Game number 7 is Project Vox. This is the kind of sandbox I can lose time messing around in. Everything is built around destruction and physics. Blocks break, explosions send pieces flying, ragdolls react to damage, and you can pick up, launch, or run over objects. It's less about following a story, and more about seeing what ridiculous thing happens next. Next up is number 6, Trial Extreme Freedom. This one brings serious adrenaline with high-speed dirt bike tracks, brutal obstacles, flips, jumps, and competitive PvP. I like that precision actually matters here. You can have the fastest bike in the race, but one bad landing can ruin everything. The career mode and upgrades also give you a reason to keep pushing. We're getting close now, and number 5 is Dynasty Warriors. This is exactly the kind of console-style action I want to see on mobile. You can charge into huge armies, chain cooldown-free combos, unleash Muso attacks, and fight alongside iconic officers from Wei, Shu, Wu, and Jin. That 1 versus thousands feeling is still incredibly satisfying. At number 4, Ragnarok Rebirth. If you've ever loved classic Ragnarok, this one brings that familiar MMORPG identity back with classic classes, Midgard exploration, guilds, MVP raids, pets, trading, and an AFK progression system. I especially like the player-driven economy because buying, selling, and trading freely gives the world a more connected feeling. Now we're entering my top 3, and number 3 is Global Ordnance. This is for the strategy players who want actual tactical pressure. You command armor, aircraft, defenses, missiles, and massive super units while managing limited ammunition and resources. The adaptive AI is a really interesting touch because it means repeating the same strategy might eventually come back to punish you. And at number 2, Nevergrave. This one genuinely stands out to me because it mixes Metroidvania exploration with roguelite progression and a really clever possession system. You can take control of enemies and use their abilities to overcome obstacles, then rebuild your village between adventures. Add 4-player co-op and there's a lot to love here. And finally, taking the number 1 spot, Dungeons of Hinterberg. This is the game that feels the most complete to me. You're exploring the Austrian Alps, fighting monsters, solving handcrafted dungeon puzzles, using sword and magic, and even building relationships between adventures. The colorful comic book art style makes it gorgeous, but what really sold me is how naturally combat, exploration, puzzles, and story come together. And that brings us to the end of this new generation of mobile gaming. Which game are you adding to your list first? Let me know. All game links are in the pinned comment. Like, subscribe, and check out our previous videos. Until the next adventure!